When inner silence begins, almost no one recognizes what is happening. It doesn't arrive with a warning or with an immediate sense of peace. On the contrary, it shows up as a strange pause between thoughts that once never stopped. The mind, used to narrating everything all the time, starts to lower the volume. The constant stream of comments, judgments, and predictions slows down, and this creates a state of inner alert. For a long time, you believed that voice was you. So when it quiets down, an uncomfortable question appears. If my thoughts no longer fill all the space, who am I now? This is exactly the point where many people think something has gone wrong. They believe they've lost motivation, identity, or interest in life. They try to quickly fill the silence with more stimulation, more information, more explanations. If this is happening to you, pause for a moment and notice this. The discomfort is not a mistake. It's a sign. And if this kind of content resonates with you, take a moment now to subscribe to the channel. That way you can continue following content that helps you understand these phases without rush and without illusions. The silence that appears here is not emptiness. It is the withdrawal of an old pattern. Before it feels light, it often feels heavy because it dismantles the inner reference that used to support the ego. And without that reference, the mind doesn't know where to hold on. It's in this territory that fear appears, a kind of fear with no clear object and no obvious cause. It's not anxiety about the future, and it's not sadness about the past. It's the fear of no longer knowing who you are without the constant inner narrative. The ego, which has always survived on comparison, control, and explanations, begins to lose ground and reacts. That reaction shows up as restlessness, a sense of being unproductive, a feeling of loneliness even when you're around other people. Few people talk about this in-between phase because it isn't spectacular. You're no longer who you used to be, but you don't yet recognize what is emerging. Old desires lose strength, old certainties stop convincing you, and superficial conversations start to feel tiring. You observe more, respond less, and feel longer pauses before you speak. This can be frightening because the world has taught us that being alive means always having an opinion, producing, and reacting. But what's happening here is not the end of thinking. It's the end of compulsive thinking. Awareness begins to replace automatic narration. This reorganization is quiet, without words, without clear explanations. That's why it feels strange. If you recognize these signs in yourself, leave a word or a sentence in the comments describing how this silence has been showing up in your life. Reading these experiences creates an important sense of connection for those who are going through this quietly. Over time, if you don't run from the silence, something begins to reveal itself. Not as a sudden, dramatic realization, but as a different kind of quiet. What once felt empty starts to feel filled with presence. You react less on impulse, listen more before responding, and feel less need to explain or justify yourself. A quiet confidence begins to take shape, not built on mental certainty, but on inner stability. Even so, this phase doesn't ask for haste or quick conclusions. It doesn't respond well to the urge to understand everything with the mind. What comes after silence is built through staying even when the mind wants to return to old noise. Staying even when the emptiness feels uncomfortable. If this video touched something in you, like it now so the algorithm can share this content with others who may be living through the same phase without knowing how to name it. And if you feel that you are moving through this inner silence, keep following the Despertar de Alma channel. Here, you won't find ready-made answers, but space to understand deep processes with clarity and respect. Because not everything meaningful arrives making noise. Sometimes awakening begins precisely when the inner voice grows quiet. And maybe what matters most right now isn't searching for something new, but not interrupting what has already begun inside you.